We are trying to understand Hindu just as we understand every other Abrahamic religion. The essence of Hindu or Sanatan is this, that it's an aspiration of a human being to become free, to become liberated. I am not generally a very temple-going person, I build them, but I don't go there, all right? Because I build them as instruments for people to experience and realize something more profound.
Do you think there is a resurgence of spiritualism, resurgence of knowing what it means to be a Hindu, an Indian, and having more pride in one's cultural ethos, which is happening of late?
See, it's important that because in the world, and even in India largely, we are trying to understand Hindu just as we understand every other Abrahamic religion. That is, it's a set of beliefs. Which book do you fall out of? We don't fall out of any book. We have hundreds of books, though they burnt thousands in the past. You know, Nalanda was burnt over a period of months.
Yeah.
Though they destroyed so much of knowledge, still there are hundreds of books. And we don't come out of any of those books. We may refer to them. I don't, at least there are people, scholars and others who do. But common people don't read any book usually. Some people may read something which is popular, but there is no such thing to be a Hindu, you must be reading this book or that book. Because the essence of Hindu or Sanatan is this, that it's an aspiration of a human being to become free, to become liberated. So you may call it Hinduism, this is a misnomer because it's not an ism. You can call it Jainism, you can call it Buddhism, you can call it Sikhism, but essentially these are all groups of people who are all aspiring for their ultimate liberation. They're not seeking pleasures in heaven, they are seeking liberation from the process of life and death itself. So essentially you have to describe Sanatan as this, it's an aspiration of a human being to rise beyond the limitations that we normally consider as human. Say, because Ram temple you mentioned, I am not generally a very temple-going person, I build them, but I don't go there, all right? Because I build them as instruments for people to experience and realize something more profound than where they are right now. For me, if I close my eyes, I'm done. I don't go to any institutions like that. Unless it's architecturally very unique or beautiful or energetically it's significant, if I'm interested in seeing how the consecrations are done, then I go, but I don't go for my benefit anywhere. So, you don't have to be doing something specific to be a Hindu, that is the most beautiful thing. You don't have to read this, you don't have to say this prayer, you don't have to go to the temple. You can go or you cannot go, you can read or you cannot read, you can believe or you do not have to believe. All the ways you are still a Sanatani or Sanatan Dharma because you're aspiring for your ultimate liberation. You are not waiting for an entity to come down from heaven. You are seeing how to raise yourself to the ultimate possibility. Even when it comes to Ram, see, we are out of respect, out of regard, out of love, somebody may say Lord Ram, but actually you're saying he's Maryada Purushottam. Purushottam means what? A human being who's become Uttama, that means he's risen. So we are openly saying he is a human being who rose to a point where almost beyond being human.
Or did he come to the earth to tell us what a Maryada Purushottam should be?
See,
both ways?
The simplistic minds would always want to believe that. But this is the beauty of being human, that you can raise yourself to a place where you're almost divine. Or you can make a beast out of yourself. This freedom is given to you. See, a tiger can only be a tiger. It can't act like a fox. An eagle can only be an eagle, it can't behave like a sparrow. But you can be anything you want. This is why you are a human being. That means you determine your way of being. When you determine your way of being, depending upon how you are cultured around you. This is what the samskara, the Samskriti is around us. The culture is to nurture you towards that highest point of a human being, how you can be that. And in many ways, this will anyway be the future of the world. Whether you call it Hindu, you call it Sanatani, or you call it whatever you want, universality, oneness, you call it anything you want. But essentially, this is going to be the future of the world because the next generations that come are unwilling to buy tickets to heaven. Lot of stuff in the world has been run by only selling tickets to heaven, that there is a better place than this. I think the very idea that there is a better place than this for you to live is a very criminal idea, if you ask me, because this means you will deny yourself life here, because actual life has to happen elsewhere.
In preparation.
This is just nothing. This, however you live, it doesn't matter. That one is important, somehow get there. This is a very wrong idea. This is a sure way of creating civilizations of cruelty and conquest, and that's exactly what's happened. So, the civilizations of conquest, exploitation will end in the next century at least, because those times of only one group of people are powerful is going to go away. Just imagine, I'm just saying this is a wrong way to say things. I know it's a wrong way, but I'm telling you. Suppose all the countries in the world had thermonuclear bombs. Who is going to fight war with whom, I'm asking?
Mutually assured destruction?
No, that is also possible, unfortunately. Otherwise, right now we call nuclear deterrent. People who are nuclear powered, we don't attack each other because we know where it'll go. At least that much sense still there is. If we lose that sense, of course it'll be a great disaster. But otherwise, it becomes a kind of status quo. Once it becomes a status quo, what will you do with your militaries? What will you do with your investments? When everybody has it, nobody's going to fire it, all right, because then everybody will fire it. So I'm not saying this is the way to fix the world. Unfortunately, by deterrent we are fixing the world. We should have fixed the world by enlightenment. If not enlightenment, at least acceptance. If not acceptance, at least a certain sense of inclusiveness for mutual survival. But we are going to fix the world by deterrent. It's a sad way, but still, somewhere a realization will come that me attacking you is not going to be beneficial for me. All these years we are under the impression if I attack you, I can take what you have and that's it.
One would have thought that after the COVID pandemic, the era of wars would be over and one would think that people have more respect.
That is wishful thinking. You think human beings are that sensible?
No.